12 on ESPN. Welcome to Norman, Oklahoma, where the #1 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, are welcoming the #7 team in the country, the Michigan Wolverines, in a top 10 matchup here in women's gymnastics. On balance beam, Oklahoma, Allie, as you mentioned, #1 on 3 different events, and vault is one of them. That is where they are going to start, and just, I mean, we're going to say a lot of superlatives about the Sooners tonight, but vault certainly a place where they have some depth.
Yeah, what's really impressive about this team is most teams really struggle to have 6 vaults that start with a 10.0 start value. Oklahoma has over 10 gymnasts that can start from a 10.0 that they can choose from.
Some of the best teams in the country, Michigan's one of them, doesn't have 6.10 start value vaults. An embarrassment of riches, if you will, for the Sooners. And one of their stars, one of their leaders, she is a senior. Audrey Davis will lead things off here.
Yurchenko 1.5 twist. You know, this is probably the only place in all of Audrey's gymnastics where you can see a deduction. That's how clean she is.
There is head coach KJ Kindler in her 18th season as the Sooners head coach. She came from Iowa State, where she did a tremendous job there, and she has just gone up from that point. Working on her seventh national title, which will move her into 4th place by herself, currently tied for 4th. With Sarah Patterson from Alabama. Now over to the uneven bars with Michigan. J.C. Vore, sophomore, will lead things off here.
She's going to do a really high Tkachev. J.C. has worked really hard on this event. I like that she takes her time and finishes her handstands in between each skill. It's really hard to do that when you're nervous. Double layout dismount. Small, tiny hop, but the judges will take off for that. But really good start for Michigan. They're going to be happy with that.
That is actually junior J.C. Vore getting things going for the Michigan Wolverines.
Watch the height that she gets on this. She's got enough time to spot the bar. Double layout. Her legs are very close together, which is what the judges are looking for.
Good start for Michigan in that all-important leadoff spot. Now back over to the vault. Audrey Davis, a 9.8. This is sophomore Faith Torres.
Same vault that we just saw. Wow.
A little bit better.
Really good. I don't think they're going to give her a stick. It was a slight little movement of her feet, but that was an excellent vault, and that's going to be a high score.
Let's see that little movement of the feet, Allie.
Just slight, nice hips open before the landing, and just a small hop, but she was right in the middle of the vault, which is what the judges are looking for.
And that could be as little as a 1/2 tenth deduction. It's up to the judges. At most, probably a 1/10 deduction. One of the leaders of this Michigan Wolverine team, senior Gabby Wilson, actually in her 5th year, graduate student at Michigan, meant so much to this team, Allie, especially with some challenges they've had this year with some injuries and things like that. She has been heavily relied on.
Absolutely. Gabby has really, as you mentioned, become such a leader. And when we spoke to Coach Bev Plotke, she said one of the most rewarding parts of her job is getting to see the transformation in these athletes. And she said it's been so incredible to watch Gabby really come into her own, and she's really found her voice.
She follows J.C. Vore's 9.875. Great leadoff score.
Pike Jaeger. Always a difficult skill because there's risk that you can hit your heels on the low bar, but she did such a great job with that. I like watching Gabby's dismount because she gets a lot of height on this. Beautiful double layout. Oh, she tried to stick it, small step on the landing.
A floaty double layout. Definitely wanted the stuck landing there. There is Bev Plotke in her 35th season. But don't tell her she's old. She started when she was young, only 23 years old when she started that job at Michigan. She's done a tremendous job. Obviously, that national championship in 2021, a highlight. Numerous Big Ten titles. Just dominated the Big Ten Conference, quite honestly. Faith Torres for Oklahoma in the 2 spot, a 9.925. That is a career high score for her. Now Kira Wells
Another Yurchenko 1.5. That was beautiful. I could tell that she was going to have a good landing in the air because she got really good block. Her elbows and her shoulders were completely extended when she hit that vault table.
And I watched Oklahoma warm these up, and it was just very methodical.
Just one after another, they just hit. You kind of forget they're doing a Yurchenko 1.5. They make it look so easy.
It's kind of a stick contest for them. You know, we do it in warm-ups. You do your back tuck stick contest, simple skill. For them, that simple skill is a Yurchenko 1.5. It's just a matter of how clean their landing is. Now back over to bars. Halen Zambrowski in the third spot. Gabby Wilson, another 9.875. 2 good scores to start.
Great handstand at the top of the bar. Jaeger release move. Similar release move we just saw from Gabby, but she straddled her legs instead of piking. Just a slight bend of legs here. Another great handstand at the top of the bar. Double layout. Just a little, we haven't seen any stuck landings so far tonight.
We're on stuck landing watch. Scott Sherman in the background there, the main bars coach for Michigan. Tremendous technician on this event.
Great first handstand, what the judges are looking for. Straddle Jaeger.
Jordan Bowers will be the next gymnast to go. She is a junior. Tremendous contributor for Oklahoma over the last 3 years. She follows Kira Wells' 9.9.
Beautiful form in the air. What I notice about Jordan is she actually runs really slow, and I think that she does that because she has so much power, and she learns how to perfectly control it, even all the way down from running into the vault.
Controlled run, but definitely no lack of power on that vault. 1/10 step, though. Can't see this going higher than a 9.9. Still looking for that first stuck landing. Now, a couple of big bar routines coming up here from Michigan. Halen Zambrowski, a 9.825. That's a very good score for her. In fact, matches her season high. But now Carly Bauman in the 4 spot, and Sierra Brooks after her have the chance to put up big 9.9 plus scores. They need to do it.
Straddle Jaeger, the height on that connected immediately into an overshoot. You notice she didn't actually hit her handstand, and that won't be a deduction because she connected it immediately from the straddle Jaeger. So she'll get extra bonus points. She's going to do a different dismount, a double front. Wow. Really good landing. It's a hard landing to stick because you can't spot the landing.
A scoot. I call that a scoot, not a step. What do you think, Allie?
I agree. It won't be a big deduction, but a small one. Watch the height on this. Wow, she has just enough time to completely open, and she connects that immediately. Double front. She actually kept her knees together really well throughout that. A little bit of leg separation is okay.
Jordan Bowers is a 9.85. I say just a 9.85. That's a pretty low score for Oklahoma on this event. But now here's Kat Lavasser.
Watch her toes are glued to, wow. Wow, do you think that's going to be a 10?
She's gotten a 10. She's gotten a 10. The question is, and here's an interesting dynamic to think about. Jordan Bowers just a 9.85. A lot of times for a judge, you think, I just put a 9.85 out there. Can I psychologically get to a 10?
I mean, her toes were glued together. I didn't see any deduction. Watch, even in slow motion, you see her feet are glued together. This was textbook. I think every coach dreams that their gymnast would do gymnastics like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen lesser vaults get a 10, and I've seen equal vaults get a 10, so we'll see what the judges do. Carly Bauman, a 9.9. Here's Sierra Brooks now for Michigan.
Pike Jaeger, wow, she caught that on her fingertips. I think Michigan is doing a really good job of taking their time on this event and hitting all of their handstands. I'm really impressed. Wow. Double layout with a full twist, the most difficult dismount we've seen tonight, and just a small little scoop.
Beautiful dismount. Toughest dismount in all of women's college gymnastics, I would say. Great bar rotation for the Wolverines, and they need it with Kat Lavasser, a 9.975. One of the judges gave her a 10. One of them found a half 10th off.
I don't know where they found the half 10th off. I'm curious about that one.
So here you go. You're a freshman coming into Oklahoma on an event that they have dominated over the years. And by the way, you're going to be our anchor. This is Hannah Scheibel.
Yeah, 50% of this vault lineup is new from last year. Front pike with a half twist. That's also out of a 10.0.
A different style vault than the Yurchenko style that we saw leading up to that, where they do the round off onto the board. Handsprings onto the vault table. Another vault we've seen a lot more of, though, is handspring pike half.
Yeah, it's becoming very popular in college gymnastics, and I like it. We typically see Yurchenkos in gymnastics, but I think it's really cool that these athletes are figuring out what works for them, and I love how we're seeing more unique vaults in the sport.
So Sierra Brooks, a 9.95. That is a season high score for her. Now Michaela Marr, the senior, in the anchor spot, trying to get better than a 9.825. That'll be the score Michigan can drop if Marr can go higher than that.
A fun fact about her is she has to eat pancakes before every single meet, and she will pack them if she needs to. Double layout. Oh! Stuck landing. I honestly think this is probably the best bar rotation that I've seen Michigan do. I'm really impressed, and I think that they're going to be super happy with the start.
Fastest team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. This is their scores from that first rotation, just a hair off of their season high on that event, led by that big 9.975. We might have thought it was a 10, but they gave her a 9.975 for Kat Lavasser. Meanwhile, Michigan, they did put up a season high score on the uneven bars, a 49.5, led by that big Sierra Brooks routine, that big full twisting double layout dismount. Put them in a great spot, only a quarter of a tenth. That means .025. Behind the number one team in the country. Allie, I got to say, that is a good spot to be as we jump over here to vault. The Wolverines starting off with David Jordan.
Yurchenko vault, if you see her foot right there, it's on that line, and she went out of bounds, so she will get a deduction for that.
We'll see Oklahoma going to another event. They're number one in the country, the uneven bars. We got to see how the Michigan Wolverines can hang in there on an event. They're ranked number 14 in the country, the vault. So interesting scenario here. Michigan keeping it close after one, but this second rotation will be a big test. Now, Danny Sievers, the leadoff gymnast for the Sooners, junior out of Gary, South Dakota.
Impressive first handstand. Going up first on bars is not easy. It's really important for her to set this team off on the right note. Beautiful handstands. Full in, wow. I don't think she could have done a better routine than that. I was watching them in warm up, and I was so impressed. They just hit handstand after handstand like they're just against the wall.
What a start routine for a rotation.
Connected into a packed salto. Routine was really clean, full in, stuck dismount.
Quickly over to vault.
Wow. Huge Yurchenko full. They actually downgraded that. She used to do Yurchenko 1.5. And Coach Bev Plotke is waiting for her to stick that landing. That was huge.
Ava Jordan right before her, a 9.725. Seems like an okay score, not tonight. Michigan wants to hang with Oklahoma. That 9.725 is a score they will want to drop. Really do not want to go below that 9.8 mark anywhere, and really want to keep it close to that 9.9. As we see Kat Lavasser, she had that outstanding 9.975 on vault. She follows Danny Sievers at 9.95. They've magically found a half tenth, Allie.
Watch the form. Tkachev, watch her toe point, the extension of her knees. When you're watching her, same as vault, it's hard to find a deduction. Beautiful. A little bit off on that handstand, but being super nitpicky. Right into a double tuck, stuck that landing.
This is what the Sooners do to you. You know, they let you keep it close for one, but 2 routines in, these could be the last 2. These could be the anchor routines on most teams in the country.
Absolutely. It's kind of hard to believe that they're competing under pressure right now because they look like they're just having fun in practice.
Tremendous start for the Sooners. Jenna Mulligan a 9-7, 7-5. So 2 scores in the 9-7s now for Michigan. They will have to count one of them. Now Raina Gugino, the junior, she's gotten a 10. Actually, she's gotten a 10 in a leadoff spot on this event.
Take a 1.5. Really beautiful vault, a big hop forward.
So nicely done there. Bev Polacki, 35th season at the helm of the Michigan Wolverines, and really one of the most respected coaches in the entire country. Won that championship in 2021. That was her first, but really the Wolverines dominant in the Big Ten Conference. For a long time, it was fighting for second at the Big Ten Championship because we knew Michigan was going to win. She has done an outstanding job now pushing over to the end of our state. Torres follows Kat Levasseur a 9.975.
The height on that release move was so impressive. Faith says that when she's competing on any event, she likes listening to her teammates because it helps her calm down and it reminds her that her teammates have her back no matter what. Double layout. Just a little bit of a form break in that double layout, a little bit of leg separation, but that was really it.
And slid those heels back. The angle we're at, though, Allie, I'm not sure the judges can see that from the side.
Yeah, this height is so impressive. I mean, that's incredible. She has so much time to catch the bar horizontally. And then just right here was really the only deduction that I saw, a little bit of leg separation. But as you mentioned, we're seeing it at a different angle, so the judges may not have seen that.
Gabby Wilson now follows Raina Gugino's 9.875. building.
The block that she gets off of the table, her elbows are completely extended, which is why she's able to get so much height. I think what separates Gabby on vault is she has so much time to open up, and you can really see her hips open before the landing.
Tremendous height on that Gabby Wilson vault. KJ Kindler in her 18th year as the head coach of the Oklahoma City over to Iowa State, where she led that team to record results and has just kept it rolling here at Oklahoma, going for her 7th national championship. Faith Torres a 9.9. Now here's one of the leaders of this team, veteran Reagan Smith.
Huge Ray, Pac Salto. Beautiful handstand. I think Reagan has done such a good job of making sure she's using every handstand. Oh, they're not going to give it to her.
No, can't give her the stick. Just didn't hold that, which is a new rule in women's gymnastics. You have to hold and show that landing position. And it looked a little quick there, Allie.
Another huge ray right here connected directly into a Pac Salto, so she'll get bonus points for that. Double layout. See, even before we didn't know she stuck it, I still wouldn't have, just a little bit of feet movement, the slightest bit.
KJ knows it. She knows it. She's watching. All right, now Sierra Brooks follows Gabby Wilson's 9.825.
Take a 1.5. Wow.
Oh, they needed that.
She twisted that last half turn so quickly. It was so beautiful to watch.
And they needed a big vault from Sierra Brooks. 2 scores in the 9.8s, 2 in the 9.7s, while Oklahoma's putting up 9.9s.
It looked actually a little bit crooked. Her hand looked a little bit off, but if you look, see her foot is on that line, and I think she goes out a little bit.
So nicely done from Sierra Brooks. Reagan Smith in 9.9. Now the gymnast we've been talking about, Audrey Davis, one of the best ever to work this event in collegiate gymnastics. Never has gotten a 10, though. Could tonight be the night?
That first handstand was pretty perfect to me. She held it. The Jaeger release move, that skill requires so much flexibility. It is hard to find the deduction when you watch her. I mean, just stunning. Another beautiful handstand. She's going to do a double front with a half twist. Wow. I think they should give her a 10.
She makes it hard on the judges every single week. And the part that we talked about is that landing on the dismount, if she finishes it all the way around. But again, I'm telling you, I've seen lesser routines get a 10.
That handstand is textbook. She even held it for a beat at the top of the bar. Double front with a half twist. Sometimes the judges, as you mentioned, complain she doesn't make it all the way around. I think she does. I think it's time for her to get a 10.
You heard it from the Olympic champ. Now Paige Saxon anchoring this vault lineup.
Yurchenko full. Paige is actually capable of doing a Yurchenko double full, but they're having her do a full twist here.
Sierra Brooks a 9.875 right before her, and they kind of put in a little strategy there with Paige Saxon at the end of that lineup. Not their biggest vault they're doing. Obviously, she doesn't do the 1.5, but hoping maybe with her in that ankle spot, to squeeze another half 10 out of that Yurchenko full. We'll see if that strategy pays off. So Michigan Wolverines, they hit vault, but just didn't quite get the big scores to keep pace with the Oklahoma Sooners. Audrey Davis, well, one judge gave her a 10. Guess what the other one gave her? 9.95. So it's a 9.975 for Audrey Davis. Here's Jordan Bowers in the anchor spot.
Beautiful blind change into a Pike Jaeger. This Oklahoma bar lineup is so impressive. It's genuinely so hard for me to find a reduction when I watch them.
Jordan Bowers, the #1 gymnast in the country currently on this event. Gotten 10 there.
And that's why, because she does beautiful handstands like that.
I watched her warm that up, and it looked like she couldn't take a step if she tried, and you saw that little foot movement there.
Pike Jaeger, legs and feet glued together the entire time. She's been so consistent on this dismount. Just a small little step.
That's a fake smile she has right there, Alex. She's mad. She's mad that foot moved, but man, what a rotation. What a clinic that the Sooners have put on. But Michigan Wolverines hanging in there, and Taylor Davis is with the head coach. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. After one rotation, it was a virtual tie between Michigan and Oklahoma. Not so much anymore. Oklahoma on the uneven bars put on a clinic, and they have stretched that lead to almost 0.7 of a point.
It's not over until it's over. Anything can happen.
Audrey Davis leads off on the balance beam, a new spot for her.
Yeah, Audrey goes up first on 3 out of the 4 events. And I actually asked Coach KJ Kindler why, and she said it's essential that Audrey starts off on beam. She said she's a sure thing.
Come on, David!
Audrey, number 17 in the country, tied for 17th in the country on this event. In fact, Oklahoma has 5 athletes in the top 25 on balance beam, and you guessed it, an event they were ranked #1 in the country.
Back handspring, layout, step out. You know, I don't want to jinx anything, but what's so impressive about Audrey is she's only had 1 fall in her entire NCAA career, and that was her freshman year.
It's a pretty good average.
It's honestly incredible.
Come on, David!
Very difficult jump. She completely loses sight of the beam. Audrey's doing a really good job taking her time in between each skill. Just the dismount, round off, double twist. Wow. She held that stick. I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to.
I'll tell you what, they don't want to give her a 10 on bars. Maybe she's just worried about beam, because that was pretty darn perfect.
Beautiful. I think that what's hard about Audrey going first is she's so incredible to watch and so clean that sometimes I don't think she gets scored fairly because she goes up first.
Tough to get a 10-0 in the leadoff spot. That was pretty good, darn perfect right there. Michigan, number 3 in the country on the floor exercise. We saw the lead that Oklahoma had after that second rotation. They need to make a move. Try to eat into that lead that Oklahoma has here. You can't wait till the last rotation. You got to trim it down, and this is an event they can do it. You notice there on the right, just 5 gymnasts scheduled to go for Michigan. Have had some injuries this year. They're not taking any risks. They're playing the long game, so putting have 5 athletes there.
Yeah, I spoke to Coach Bev before the competition, and she said the priority is making sure that the gymnasts are healthy and making sure she doesn't push them too much, and she wants to rest them.
Keep in mind, though, typically a team will put up 6. They can drop the low, meaning if they have a mistake, they can get rid of that mistake. Well, Michigan, no margin for error. We call it 5 up, 5 count. Every one of these scores for the Wolverines are going to count to their team score.
Yeah, it absolutely adds the pressure, and I'm sure that these gymnasts are feeling that pressure, especially up against a team like Oklahoma. Rounded back handspring, double pike, clean landing. I think as she gains more endurance, she'll be able to land with her legs a little bit straighter.
Great start for Michigan, though. You know you only got 5 athletes that are going up. Each routine has to be as near perfect as you can do it, and Jenna Mulligan certainly did that there.
Absolutely. I didn't see any major deductions in that routine. Coach Bev Plotke said it was really important for Jenna to start off in this event because she feels like she can really pump this team up and get them ready.
So Audrey Davis, she flirts with the 10 again. She gets a career high 9.975 for her beam routine. That makes 4 9.975 for Oklahoma, 2 from Davis, 2 from Kat Lavasser, and now Kiera Wells to be the second gymnast to go. She is a freshman from Augusta, Kansas.
Come on, kid.
I think what really sets Oklahoma apart on this event is they have such beautiful choreography. Very difficult side aerial. She switched her legs on that landing. When we spoke to Coach KJ, she talked about how she choreographs these routines, and it's really an important part of the routine. It doesn't give the gymnasts extra bonus points if they have beautiful dance, but it does leave the judges with a better overall impression overall.
Let's go.
Jenna Mulligan leads off Michigan on floor with a 9.875.
Back handspring layout. Just a couple of slight balance checks. All normal things when you're competing on beam. It's always nerve-wracking. All eyes on them. Just the dismount, round off 1.5. Very good routine. I feel like sometimes I'm tempted to be extra hard on Oklahoma because I expect so much from them, but that was a really beautiful routine.
Oklahoma continues to roll. Well, 2 of the top teams in the Big 12 square off Saturday in our ABC men's basketball featured matchup. The 7th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks face off against number 15 Baylor. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, noon Central. Raina Gugino now on the floor, exercise for Michigan. Senior from Tampa, Florida. Tampa Bay Turners Gymnastics Club. Brad Harris, outstanding coach from the state of Florida. Every routine is big now for the Wolverines here on floor exercise.
What I love about watching her is she just has so much fun. Front layout through to a double tuck. More of a unique pass. The front layout step out we don't often see. Side into Copa. The judges are looking for a complete 180 degree. Front layout to front 1.5 called a Rudy. Again, another really powerful, really good routine for Michigan.
routines for the Wolverines. Going back over to the balance beam, 9.875 for Kira Wells. Jordan Bowers next up. Taylor's got more on her.
Guys, it's hard to believe, but balance beam actually brought some struggles for Jordan early in her career. Freshman season, KJ Kindler made the decision to remove her from lineups to allow more time for her to train beam and heal a pre-existing back injury, and the move paid off. She finished last season 4th in the nation on this event with over a 9.9 average. And guys, it's the only event left that she has to get a 10 for that jump slam.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, we'll call for it again. You know, we've been denied the commentator satisfaction of seeing the 10, which we love to see, but we'll see here if Jordan can close out the gym slam.
Pay attention to this choreography. What's so cool about Jordan's routine is there's almost 30 seconds of dance before any skill. That's very rare, but I really love that. You know, most gymnasts want to get up on the beam and get off quickly, and Jordan just shows she wants to take her time, and it really shows the confidence that she has. Beautiful back handspring layout called an acro series. It's a requirement to connect two acro skills together. Split leap into switch half. Just the dismount, round off double twist. Beautiful, just the slightest foot movement on that, but there was no other deduction. I'm gonna guess they're gonna give her a 9.975 just because the little slight foot movement.
Could be tremendous regardless, though. Tremendous gymnastics from the Sooners.
Beautiful back handspring layout. Just right here. Beautiful round off double twist, just the slightest little hop.
And I think that's the interesting part about Oklahoma is it's really come down to just that for them. It seems like, you know, do you stick or do you take that little bit of a slide? They've eliminated so many of those errors on the apparatus, and as near perfection as a team as you can get. Now Sierra Brooks, third gymnast to go here on floor exercise. Reina Gugino, a nice 9.875. So a pair of 9.875 for Michigan. Good start here. I'd like to see them build, though, these last three athletes that have yet to go.
Watch the height that she gets on this beautiful full in. Most gymnasts have to grab their legs, and she does it with such ease. She doesn't even have to use her legs to help her rotate.
Jordan Bowers, a 9.95 for her beam routine.
I think what's so hard about the floor exercise is that you may be watching and thinking that this dance is easy, but it's actually very hard and it's tiring, and I think it's a really fine line between having really good choreography, but also giving yourself enough time to breathe in between your tumbling passes. Front through to double tuck. She landed with her chest completely up, which is what the judges are looking for. I think that was a great routine.
Tremendous veteran for the Michigan Wolverines. And again, Michigan taking the long game here. Their best, I feel like, is yet to come this season.
Beautiful full in. I think that Michigan is just getting better and better every time that I see them. Front through to a double tuck. She actually over-rotated that, and at the end of the routine, that's extra impressive because usually you're tired. So it really shows me she's working really hard on that endurance.
Coach Bev Blocky with some words with Sierra after that routine. Faith Torres now the fourth gymnast to go. As I said, Jordan Bowers a 9.95 right before her.
Coach KJ says that she has to remind Faith to go bigger on her dance. Sometimes when she's nervous, she moves too fast. Really difficult side aerial into a layout step out. It's really hard to stay straight on that skill.
Faith number 2 in the country on this event has a high of a 9.975. Interesting, I noticed in her scores this season. Has not missed yet in 2024. Perfect on the season.
Judges are also looking for a full 180-degree split. Anything under that will be a deduction. Back handspring into a gainer fall. Stuck landing. I mean, the consistency of this Oklahoma team truly blows me away. Side aerial into a layout, step out. Back handspring into a gainer full, landed with her chest completely up.
Well done for Faith Torres out of Bristol, Wisconsin, former senior national team member. Now Gabby Wilson on floor. She'll follow Sierra Brooks, 9.925. So some building scores here with 2 yet to go for the Wolverines.
I can't help but smile when I watch Gabby do this floor routine. It looks like she's having so much fun. I love the way she performs it. First tumbling pass is huge. Another full in. Same tumbling pass we saw from Sierra, and she also doesn't need to grab her legs.
Gabby has scored a 10 this season on this event. Currently ranked tied for 13th. Man, a big score is needed for Michigan, trying to dig into that big lead that Oklahoma had after 2 rotations.
This was the part I was talking about. I imagine this is sort of her breathing time. Give her a moment to collect herself before her last tumbling pass. Front layout to a front 1.5. Wow. They are allowed, the gymnasts are allowed to lunge out of it, but she could have stuck that perfectly. The timing of that was perfect.
So much fun to watch and put herself in a good spot there. Sierra Brooks, as I mentioned, a 9.925. They can go up from that with this Gabby Wilson routine.
Yeah, this was a really nice routine. A full in. And then watch this landing. Front layout into a front 1.5 twist. She could have stuck that, but the gymnasts are allowed to lunge out of it. But her timing on that was just perfect.
Miley Caneva Hermelin right there talking with Gabby. Miley, a former Oklahoma Sooner gymnast. Now over to the balance beam with Catherine Lavasser. You can see the scores there. The highest all-around score in Oklahoma history was Maggie Nichols with a 39.925. Gonna have to be perfect on one of these last 2 events and add another 9.975 in there to match that, but regardless, tremendous night so far for Kat.
Yeah, and I think if any gymnast can do it, it's Kat.
Faith Torres put up the 5th 9.975 for Oklahoma with her beam routine moments ago.
Gorgeous back handspring layout, step out. What I love about that is I could almost tell in the back layout she spotted the beam so she could see where to put her feet. Switch leap into a straddle quarter.
Kat's currently ranked in a tie for 15th in the country right now. A 9.95 is her high score this season.
Kat leap into a front aerial. Kat showing off her beautiful flexibility. It just seems like this Oklahoma team, they could just hang out on beam all night. They don't seem nervous at all. I think what separates the best gymnasts on beam is they pretend that they're just on a straight line on the floor. Just the dismount. Wow. Oh, almost stuck it.
A beautiful routine. Definitely a 1/10 step there at the end. But man, again, tremendous gymnastics on the apparatus.
Back handspring, layout, step out, has enough time to spot the beam. And back handspring, gainer full. Just a little bit over rotated on that, but almost got that stick. That was the only deduction in my opinion on that routine.
And she floated that gainer full, plenty of air time. Just overdid it just a little bit. Paige Thaxton will anchor this floor rotation from Michigan. Gabby Wilson matches Sierra Brooks with a 9.925 of her own.
Front through, round up, back handspring, double tuck. That 4-inch mat there is allowed. There's no deduction for that. It's just for extra safety and to help the athletes with the landing. A little more protection on their body.
And remember, Michigan only putting up 5 gymnasts on floor exercise. They've had some injuries and things, playing it safe. They could have put somebody out there, but I want to make sure they are ready for the last part of the season and the whole season. So Paige Thaxton will be the anchor gymnast.
Round up, back handspring, double pike. Really nice landing on that. It was very clean, landed with her chest completely up. I think Michigan's showing why they're ranked number 3 in the country on this event.
Tremendous job, averaging a 9.9 through 4 gymnasts heading into that Paige Thaxton floor routine.
Front through, round off, back handspring, double tuck. Round up, back handspring, double pike. This was a really great routine. There was no huge visible deductions for me. It's not easy to handle the pressure of knowing that every single score counts, and I think this Michigan team did a really good job.
5 up, 5 count, and they answered with 5 hit routines. Kat Levasseur a 9.9. Now Reagan Smith going for a record of her own. She already has 7 10.0s here. An 8th would give her the Oklahoma Sooner record on this event. The low score for the Sooners right now, a 9.875. So already a tremendous team score. Pressure's off for Reagan Smith.
Back handspring layout. I love Reagan's confidence on this event. Front aerial. Beautiful connection. I think Reagan has always been so consistent on this event, even when she was younger. It's not easy anchoring this team on beam. She's had to wait patiently for a long time. Just the dismount, this routine has been beautiful. Gainer full, gorgeous. You can even see in the gainer full, she has time to open up. Watch this beautiful over 180 degrees, so the judges won't take off anything connected immediately. Connection means that she didn't stop her arms. Her arms moved the entire time. Back handspring into gainer full. Look at the way she opens her hips.
I'll be interested. That right foot almost looked like it slid a little. If you're bringing in the microscope, we shall see. It could be number 8, and it is. It's a record 8 10.0 for Reagan Smith. They flirted with it all night. 5 9.975 for Oklahoma, but for Reagan Smith, it's perfection.
Well deserved. That's so exciting to see. I'm so happy for Reagan. It's so beautiful to watch how supportive all the teammates are of each other. They're all so happy for her as if they got a 10 themselves.
She's number 1 in the country on that event, and that ranking will not change this week. Taylor Davis is with what I assume is a very happy head coach, KJ Kindler.
It would be hard not to be, John. Coach, a huge beam rotation capped by another 10 by Reagan Smith. What's your team showing you through 3?
I don't even know what's going on. It's so loud in here. But to get 3 10s, 3 meets in a row, I haven't seen that happen before on the same event. So this is a pretty impactful moment, and the beam team did a phenomenal job, yes.
That's an understatement. How can they take that momentum to floor?
just the way you just said. Take that momentum to floor. This is where we close it out. This is where they have fun, so we're excited.
Thanks so much, KJ. John.
Of all of sports is making predictions. And we're going to look at the Road to Nationals top 10 as they currently sit. Now, obviously, this can change, but as we look at these top 10, you can see Michigan at 7, Oklahoma at number 1. Who do you think could be in that NCAA semifinals, meaning one of the top 8 teams that we might not think of, maybe not a perennial power? Michigan very close to tied after one rotation. Oklahoma stretched that lead in the second, and now it's over a point. The number 1 team in the country showing why they are number 1, led by that Reagan Smith, 8th career 10.0 on balance beam, a team they are number 1 in the country on. Now Michigan goes to the balance beam here. Certainly with some goals other than winning this competition. We just got done talking about NQS. Important for Michigan to try to maximize that NQS, raise their ranking, puts them in a better seeding heading into regionals. Hopefully gives them a little bit easier road to make that NCAA championship. So every score still means a lot for this Wolverine team.
Something so special and so beautiful about Jenna is she was a walk-on on this team, and for her senior year, Coach Bev Plotke felt that she went back home, worked so hard, and surprised her with a scholarship for her senior year.
Such a great moment. You love those scholarship moments. We see them in a lot of different sports, but she had a special one.
Beautiful back handspring layout. Coach Bev really likes Jenna to start off on this event. Starting off on beam is not easy. It's a lot of pressure. It's very important for Jenna to start this team off on a confident note. So far, she's rock solid. Just the dismount. Back handspring, tough 1.5. Stuck that. That, in my opinion, was just about as good as she could have done it. Coach Bev also worries that sometimes she gets underscored because she goes up first on this event. But I personally think this should be a really big score because she didn't have any wobbles or mistakes.
We saw some big leadoff routines from these teams. Audrey Davis on beam in the last rotation. Now Jenna Mulligan showing she can do it too for the Michigan Wolverines. And speaking of leadoff spots for Audrey Davis, here she is leading things off on the floor exercise. One of the all-arounders chasing right now Kat Lavasser for that all-around title, just 1/10 behind her teammate.
Beautiful front double twist. The gymnasts have a 4-minute warm-up before they compete on each event, and Coach KJ Kindler says Audrey is one of the few gymnasts that actually has enough endurance to be able to warm up and then quickly rest and have enough time to do her floor routine. Not every gymnast has the endurance to do that. Audrey has beautiful flexibility. One and a half front full. Coach KJ is also the choreographer on floor. I think she does a beautiful job with the choreography on this team. Audrey again showing off her consistency throughout this competition. Huge role that she has to play going up first on 3 out of the 4 events. Beautiful, watch her hips open on this front layout full. They just hit routine after routine. It's truly hard to find a mistake when they go up. It's so impressive.
Jenna Mulligan, a 9.9. That is a career high score for her in the leadoff spot. You mentioned Allie looked tremendous. Now Raina Gugino in the 2 spot. We mentioned NQS. Michigan has a chance to raise their NQS. They need higher than a 197.4 to do that. And that means they need a 49, better than a 49.425 in this rotation, which is just about a 9.9 average. Keep that in mind.
Beautiful back handspring layout. Got a lot of height on that. What's impressing me so much about Michigan tonight is their consistency. It's not easy. It can be very intimidating to go up against a team like Oklahoma, but they are not only handling the pressure well, they're thriving in it. Side semi.
Audrey Davis with her own 9.9 to lead off Oklahoma's floor rotation.
Dismount back handspring, 1.5 twist. A little bit off to the side. They're going to take a little bit of a bigger deduction because she stepped off crooked as well. But good routine overall.
Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Tomorrow, the swimming and diving championships continue with the prelims at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Then the championship starts at 5 Eastern. Sign up today at espnplus.com/big-12. Belle Johnson, now the second gymnast to go from Norman, Oklahoma, and Bart Connor Gymnastics, our fellow ESPN commentator, has a gym right here in town. We almost went over there for a workout, didn't we, Allie? Went right by the gym, maybe later. But here's Belle Johnson.
Front layout into front 1.5. That was beautiful. What I like about that is she took her time and waited to twist a little bit later off in that rotation. Fun floor music. Each gymnast gets to pick their own floor music. They all have their own choreography. Round up back handspring, double tuck.
Well done from Belle Johnson. Rainy Gugino at 9.85. Gabby Wilson next to go. Taylor's got more on her.
Yeah, Don, we've talked about her leadership, and it's something Bev Plotke saw in her years ago. She actually offered her a captain role as a junior, and Gabby declined. Coach says this was a showcase of how self-aware she is. I asked Gabby what went into that decision. She said an approachable captain should be able to put the team's needs ahead of her own without it affecting her ability. I felt I had further to go in that, and it's made me the captain and leader that I am now as a fifth year.
Thanks, Taylor. Tremendous athletes. Any coach would love to have them on their team, certainly, and Bev relying on them heavily here in 2024.
Gorgeous back handspring layout, step out. That was so graceful. Her back handspring layout step out is probably one of the highest ones in the nation. A lot of gymnasts do that series, but not quite like that. Watch the height that she gets. Standing switch leap, standing switch leap. Very difficult. Most gymnasts take a couple of steps into that, but Gabby can do it from standing. Full turn is a requirement on balance beam. Now this dismount is one of the most difficult dismounts that you're going to see in all of college gymnastics. It's a round off double tuck. Huge risk that she takes, but she usually does it so well. Wow. Step on that landing, but she's going to get extra bonus because there's so much difficulty in that. Watch this standing switch leap, beautiful 180 degree, and then she connects it immediately into another switch leap.
Well done from Gabby Wilson. Next up on floor, Reagan Smith. Allie, you've known Reagan Smith for quite some time. In fact, we might have dug up some history between the two of you. I think this was 2015.
Yes, I've known Reagan for so long. It's so fun to be able to watch her compete. This photo was taken in Italy. We've competed international together so many times. So it's so special that I can be here to support her today.
Reagan Smith, an alternate to the team that you were a part of in 2016 that won gold in Rio.
Beautiful rounded back handspring double tuck. I love Reagan's floor music. It's a Taylor Swift music mashup. So fun. Reagan was on the national team for 7 years. I think it really shows when you watch her consistency in her form in her gymnastics here. You can really see how so many years of competing at that high elite level has really helped give her that confidence.
Reagan, the 2017 USA all-around champion. She was number 1 in the country, not just college. Out of every gymnast in the United States, she was number 1.
Beautiful wolf full. The judges are looking for horizontal, but she's so flexible and so powerful. Her leg was even more than horizontal. It's beautiful. Right up back handspring, double pike. Opened up in that perfectly. The judges shouldn't take anything off for that landing.
Reagan is never short on enthusiasm, is what I love about her.
Round up back handspring, double tuck. Doesn't even grab her legs either. Grabbing her legs helps give you extra power. Beautiful 1.5 front layout. And then last pass, double pike. Beautiful control on that. Does a 3-pass floor routine. Most gymnasts in college do 2. So I like how she takes the extra risk, and also that requires a lot of extra endurance.
Gabby Wilson, a 9.85, matches Raina Gugino's 9.85. Here's JC Vore now on the balance beam. By the way, Belle Johnson for Oklahoma in the 2 spot, a 9.875. Still waiting for Reagan Smith's score.
That handspring layout. A little bit crooked there, but did a good job covering that. If you feel yourself just slightly off on balance beam, because the beam's only 4 inches wide, it's really hard to correct yourself. And then you add nerves on top of that, and it's even more difficult. Front toss. I could see before that skill, she took an extra beat, a deep breath, which I think was really smart after you have that little wobble to kind of collect yourself. Just the dismount. Round off 1.5. Beautiful.
Michigan continuing to battle. Again, scores matter regardless of wins and losses in women's gymnastics, so every routine can impact the postseason for the Wolverines. Reagan Smith, a 9.925 for her beam routine. Now Kat Levasseur next to go. A 9.8 will give her a share of the lead with her teammate Audrey Davis. Let's go back to Taylor.
Well, John, her teammates and coaches light up when they talk about Kat Levasseur making it into the all-around this season. This is an athlete that only competed on vault at NCAAs last year and has made her way into the all-around and a consistent high-level competitor. They said they've known she was capable of it, but all the factors have aligned this season.
Beautiful pull in. Before every meet, Kat likes to write grateful on her hand, and she looks at it before she competes on every event. She says that it just helps her relax and reminds her to be in the moment and to be grateful to be here. What impresses me so much about Kat is she just looks so calm and relaxed. When I'm watching her, I feel like I'm watching her in her absolute best day in practice. half, front half, into a straddle jump. That straddle jump is smart because if she's a little off on that landing, she's not going to get a deduction for a step.
What a day for Catherine Lavasser. Just needed a 9-8 to match her teammate for a share of the all-around lead as of now. Still some all-arounders yet to go.
Full twisting, double back. 1.5 front layout half into a straddle jump. That's so difficult, especially when you're so tired at the end of your routine.
So these last three scores for KJ Kindler and the Sooners need to be 9.95 or better, and they will put up a school record 198.7. They just keep getting better, do the Sooners. Carly Bauman now in the 5th spot for the Michigan Wolverines. She follows JC Vores, 9.825.
Carly is so good on this event. She's very consistent. Back handspring layout. Just a slight little waver there. Seesaw jump. Gymnasts have to connect 2 jumps in a row. Split jump into a straddle. Oh, ow. It's a little bit crooked there, but managed to stay on the beam. Sometimes those jump elements, they might look easy, but sometimes those are the ones that give gymnasts the most trouble because you're focusing so much on the next acro series. That's a side summy with straight legs. We don't often see that. Just the dismount, just a small hop backwards. But I think overall Michigan looks really consistent and confident on this event.
We got a men's basketball Saturday triple header on ESPN and the app with 3 crucial conference matchups. First, NC State and number 9 North Carolina are at 4 Eastern. Then Virginia visits number 10 Duke. And finally, number 4 Tennessee heads to number 14 Alabama in our prime time matchup. That should be an outstanding one. In the house, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the Oklahoma City Thunder. You didn't know this, Allie, but I got a pretty mean basketball game.
Do you?
I think I could take him one-on-one, I'm just saying. Faith Torres now on the floor exercise. Kat Lavasser, a 9.925, so that record score in flux here. Beautiful double layout.
Beautiful, stuck that cold. As I mentioned before, the gymnasts are allowed to take a lunge out of it, but she stuck that cold. So difficult.
Faith needs to be about perfect to catch her teammate Kat Lavasser for the all-around. A 9.975 will tie her for the all-around lead.
What's so impressive about this Oklahoma lineup is that they kind of all compete against each other. Like, just making the lineup on this team is so difficult. They have so much depth. I think that's what makes this team so good, though, is they all push each other to the next level. Front through to a double tuck.
She's number 8 in the country on floor exercise, and she shows you why right there. All-American on the event as well.
Watch this double layout. Her hips are open the entire time. Stuck that cold. Front through to a round off back handspring, double tuck.
Tom Haley, the primary floor exercise coach for the Oklahoma Sooners there in that first shot. Carly Bauman, a 9.825. Sierra Brooks now in the anchor spot for the Wolverines. Their low score of a 9.825 is what they want to drop to try to raise that 197.25 just a little bit higher.
Back handspring, layout, layout. Most gymnasts do 2 skills connected. Sierra does 3. It's really difficult to do that, and I love how she added that extra risk in there. And it certainly paid off.
Sierra Brooks, one of the all-around competitors tonight. She cannot catch the leader, Kat Levasseur. Kat will walk away with that all-around title.
Beautiful front toss. Just a little bit of a waiver there. I'm impressed with this beam lineup from Michigan. They're showing a lot of confidence and consistency. Just the dismount, back handspring into a double twist. Really hard to do that just from a back handspring. Really shows how strong she is.
Great finish for the Michigan Wolverines. 6 hit routines, and with this exclamation point from Brooks.
Gorgeous back handspring layout, layout. The second layout was even higher than the first one, which is so impressive. Back handspring into a double twist. Most gymnasts do a round off into that, but she can just do it from a back handspring.
So for Oklahoma, the team competition not in question from pretty much the halfway point, and certainly through this last rotation with floor exercise, but Jordan Bowers takes to the floor with a chance to help Oklahoma to a record high score of a 198.7. They've already put up a record high score earlier this season of a 198.675. In order to do that, she will have to get her second 10.0 of her career here on this routine.
I think if anyone can do it, it's Jordan. Coach KJ Kindler says if she could use 2 words to describe Jordan Bowers, it's fire and passion. Beautiful. Front tuck just has enough time to open. You can see it on her face. She is ready for this floor routine.
Struggled a little bit with floor exercise last year. They had to rearrange her floor passes a little bit, and it has just been on point here in 2024.
Gorgeous double pike. A lot of gymnasts do a double pike, but not quite like that. That was so much height. Her toes were pointed in it. I think what makes Jordan so beautiful to watch is not only is her dance very pretty, but you can see the expression in her eyes, the intensity. She really performs this event. Beautiful. Now keep an eye on the front tuck after this. She just opens up. It's so high. She has enough time to spot the landing. And watch the height on this, and even her toes are pointed.
But if it's not a perfect score, Allie, is that the moment, that little foot slide on the step back?
Yeah, I think if they're not going to give her a 10, I think the lunge was just a little bit too big. The judges are going to want to see a little bit more control, but that's us being so nitpicky, but we're talking about the best school in the country, so we have to be.
Well, you nailed it. Oklahoma made us do it. when you're that good, you've got to pick out the little things. Kat Levasseur is your all-around champion here in what was an outstanding all-around competition. Here's her highlights.
This was gorgeous. I still think she should have gotten a 10. There was no deduction. Watch this double tuck, knees and toes glued together. Gorgeous beam routine. What an incredible night that Kat has had.
What a night. Taylor is with the all-around champ.
What a night, John. You said it. Kat Levasseur joins me now. Congratulations on the all-around title. Walk me through what kind of success you guys were able to showcase tonight.
I think just going back to all the training that we do, we practice so hard and we work so hard to just see all of our hard work pay off. And I have the most incredible teammates doing it by my side, and they just we get everyone so pumped up, and I'm just super blessed to be here.
I know consistency is a pillar of this program and this team. You guys keep leveling up week after week. What's left for this team?
there's still so much room for improvement. Like, we can still get so much better, and we're just going to go back into the gym and focus on those little details that we do every day and just get better.
Amazing. Congratulations.
So much.
Never satisfied, John.
Yeah, I was going to say so much more room for improvement, really. Going to have to show us that later. Well, record set tonight. 49.8 ties a beam record for them. Reagan Smith, we talked about that 8.10. And that NQS, the national qualifying score. All you people at home, now you know what NQS is. You can brag to your neighbors. Well, that's the highest ever in women's gymnastics. They beat their past highest record from last year, that 198.42. Jordan Bowers, by the way, a 9.95 for her final floor score. Well, that's a win for the Oklahoma Sooners. Second highest score in team history. 198.65 for the home team, the Michigan Wolverines. A gutty performance. They put up a 197.325. For Allie Raisman and Taylor Davis and our production crew, so long from Norman. Basketball is coming up.